how to thread your needle and tie a knot. You're gonna hold the needle pointing to the ceiling at the bottom of the eye of the needle with your thumb and your index finger. You're gonna have two tails. I like to actually take the other fingers of my right hand that it's holding the needle and put those in between these two threads. So these might be the same length. What you need to do is pull down on one of them. It doesn't matter if it's the right thread or the left thread, but you want these to be different lengths. So you can make an L with your hand, and the bottom of your thumb is going to be where the bottom of the longer thread is, and the top of your index finger is going to be approximately where the bottom of the short thread is. So I already have a knot right here, but that's what we're gonna make. What you would do is you're shaking someone's hand. You're gonna turn this hand, rotate it downward so your thumb is like an upside down, thumbs down, and you're gonna use a pinch grip, and you're gonna grab where I have this knot about an inch from the bottom of the longer tail. So not at the very bottom, not way up here, right about here. You're then gonna rotate your hand up like you're giving somebody a thumbs up, and the thread is going to be parallel to the needle. You're gonna turn this thread sideways. You're gonna place this behind the needle, and you're gonna take this thread and kind of shove that in between the fingers that are holding the needle. So what you have is you have the same hand holding the needle and that little thread. This little tail or that little thread is just gonna be towards the inside of your hand. Then what you're left with is this loop and then a thread dangling downward. You're gonna take this loop. You don't wanna wrap, the next step is to wrap this around the needle. You don't wanna take both threads. You wanna take the top thread only. You don't wanna hold it way out here, otherwise you're gonna accidentally wrap both threads around the needle. So you wanna hold it about an inch from the needle, so right about here. Then you're going to take that, and it actually might be easier to take the extra finger, your extra fingers, and place it in between that loop. So then I'm gonna wrap around, take the threads and wrap around the needle. You want to wrap around the needle 7 or 8 times. You're gonna try to wrap these around the needle pretty tightly, but not too tight because you're gonna end up sliding these off of the needle. 7 or 8 times, and this is gonna be your knot. You also want to make sure that they're all in the same spot. If you end up wrapping the threads around like this, you're gonna have to, still holding onto the loop, you're gonna have to kind of smush those down using your finger, because then the next step is to inch up the hand that's holding the needle and pinch all of those threads. Some students actually do this and just rotate hands, but I find it easier to use the same hand that's holding my needle. At this point, once you have all those threads in your pinch grip, you can drop the loop. Then you're gonna take your available hand, hold the top of the needle right above the hand that has the pinch grip, kind of like Itsy Bitsy Spider, and then slide all of the threads down off of the needle. So I'm gonna slide those threads off the needle, and then as soon as I do that, I want to actually readjust the hand that's holding the needle and pinch the needle and the threads right there. I'm going to then continue to slide all the way down. If I don't readjust my hand up here, if I continue to pull down, I'm gonna actually lose my short tail and my needle. So that's why you wanna grab that thread and that needle and then drag all the way down. Sometimes you have to actually do that a couple times. And then there is my new knot.